Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalang Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitantang Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvijay Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Excuse me, Maharaj, just to let you know, there is some like electricity or maybe something like this in your sound.
Oh,
a little bit, if it matters.
Well, is it very bad?
No, we can hear perfectly just there.
It sounds like electricity.
You sound perfectly normal over here.
Okay, all right. So we've got sufficient sound. We'll look into it for another time, try to see. It's true, we have a slightly different arrangement here because Krishna has given a big screen. And so we can see you all much better now on the big screen. And we are very happy for that. So, dear devotees, we're all coming together one by one, and we've said our invocation, our mini invocation, and we have from Devashis Prabhu our theme for the day, and our theme for the day is what? No right, all grace. And the translators do have some text from myself, and one of them we'll keep for Devashis Prabhu because I expect he is going to use that one on his Devashis Prabhu, looking like he's somewhere sunny. He must have taken that picture in Thailand last year. Okay, oh no, he's in London. The sun does shine sometimes, I know. Okay, Devashis Prabhu. Indoors on, believe it or not, September the 22nd or 23rd. Is it?
23rd.
Amazing. I can just say amazing in my little world that it's the 23rd of September is astonishing. And that is 2024 is also astonishing. So I mean, anyway, lots of things all combined to make life astonishing. However astonishing this world may be, and we are the living entities, we are Tatashta Shakti, we are Jiva Shakti. Yes, Saraswati, this is your London Zoom, Devashis Prabhu, Saraswati, and we have your Jagadishwar Prabhu here, always humble, sitting in the background, but Jagadishwar Prabhu from London is here, representing you very nicely. He's busily doing 6 people's service. Well, 5 people's service, okay. So everyone's very happy with him. But I heard some bad news, it might just be a rumor, that you booked his flight to return this Wednesday. Just a rumor, okay, okay.
Well, no, well, the plan was only 1 week. I mean, Shanti Moyi, when she comes here, she only comes for 2 days.
Okay, the Saraswati is always bargaining. She's always
Also, Monindra Prabhu, he managed to make 4 days.
Last year.
Fair enough. We cannot say.
So yeah.
Okay. Anyhow, dear devotees, we're here in Vila Govinda as an extension of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, and trying and succeeding. The devotees are succeeding to make Vila Govinda as Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, a separate room of Chaitanya Saraswat Math, and London is both West London and East London, no distinction. These temples, these ashrams also, they are trying to be as that, as the extensions of Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And so we may be in Vila Govinda, you may be in London, but we are side by side in our attempt to represent the mat and to represent the substance of the mat, which is what Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev always wanted, that the substance of what is being given by Srila Saraswati Thakur, then that will be continued generation by generation. So Guru Maharaj, he continued that generation, Srila Gurudev continued that generation, and now the responsibility is coming to all of the devotees to capture their message and continue onwards happily. So West London mat, East London mat, and we are also South London mat. Or maybe it is, we are the Italy mat, and you are the Northwest Italy mat and the Northeast Italy mat. Maybe, but I think we can all say we are Chaitanya Saraswat Math, Western chapters, different chapters also one thing, but Western embassies of the mat. So anyhow, this is who we are. I think everybody here knows that we are trying to represent Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and hence representing the full presentation of Krishna consciousness to the West of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and hence the Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga. Easy to say, but a very grand disciplic succession. And so many things we hear from Guru Maharaj, many things we hear from Srila Gurudev, that Srila Prabhupada introduced, but maybe the devotees didn't catch that, like that entire message and then keep it going, because there are so many things when we came to Guru Maharaj and when devotees come to Guru Maharaj and to Gurudev, that they say, oh, I'm hearing this for the first time. And so many encouragements Srila Prabhupada gave, and to get the devotees started, to get them on the track, to get them away from the illusory world and to give some focus to the upper world. And so one of those things which we come to learn from Guru Maharaj is that actually we are all relying entirely on the mercy from above. And all of our practices, they are to attract their mercy, to make ourselves a fit recipient to attract their mercy. And from Guru Maharaj, we've also got this understanding of how fine is the line of Krishna consciousness, of substantial Krishna consciousness. And that means within also the Gaudiya family, the family of the devotees who are with their head to the feet of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Then within that, then broadly, many branches, many sections, they're all giving some introduction, they're all showing Mahaprabhu in some way. But the fine current, it is within the deep current is within a fine line, we can say. And so we want to always try to detect that line and to stay connected, And that means under the shelter of Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, there we'll be safe. Now, one of these things which the devotees say, oh, we haven't heard this idea before, is that we entirely rely on mercy from above, that we are Tatashta Shakti, we are from the borderline area. And so our right of birth, as it were, is to be within the Tatashta, the middle position. But if we get the grace of some resident of the higher world, the positive world, then we may be influenced, we may be magnetized, we may be taken by their grace into the upper realm. So just before Devashis joined, I mentioned I did put some excerpts into the translator's text for reference. And one of them, I am sure, is Devashis Prabhu's own quote. So, I mean, his selected quote. And now I don't have it in front of me, but I will have it in front of me. But so let us pass the microphone to Devashis Prabhu, who is in the London Chaitanya Saraswat Math, London chapter of Chaitanya Saraswat Math, and we'll pass it over to him. Devashis, who's managing the Zoom, and we are here as guests in this Zoom. Devashis.
All right, Maharaj, if you insist. But I'm at my house, so not really in the Chaitanya Saraswat Math buildings, let's say. But
you're not in the Nat Mandir, you're in your room in Chaitanya Saraswat.
Yeah, when Srila Gurudev came to my house before, when I was living in a different house, but as he was leaving, he asked me, "What part of London is this?" I said, "It's Southeast London, Maharaj." And he said, "Then Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, Southeast London branch Ki Jai."
Very good.
So I hope that still counts. So yes, Maharaj, so today's topic, no right, all grace, which of course we intuitively know that we're not able to come to the Lord by any birthright or by any qualification that we might have gained here in this material world. And trying to assert ourselves in front of him has the opposite effect, makes him disinclined towards us. And certainly when we bow down to the door of grace and mercy, and come as a supplicant for that gives us some hope, because the Lord is attracted to that much more so than if we try to assert ourselves about how great we are, or even what great devotees we are. And it's a very simple thing we know, like when we're school children, that scientific experiment that you do, where you have two magnets, and you pick the positive side and the positive side, and you push them together, they just naturally push apart. And if you turn it around and put the negative end to the positive end, then they stick together. So that's true in physics, and it's also true in spiritual life too, that we have to make ourselves negatively charged, if you like, so to attract the all positive attention of Lord Krishna and his devotees. So yes, I have chosen something from Heart and Halo of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and probably what Maharaj is showing you now. It's the chapter called Delusion, Divinity, and the Real Devotee. So a devotee asks Maharaj this question: Maharaj, if a devotee falls down and becomes disconnected, is that worse than if he becomes a sahajya? And if there are anyone there who doesn't know what that means, sahajya means imitationist, an imitationist devotee, we can say, in a general sense. So Guru Maharaj's reply: which is better, a poor man or a thief? One had money and lost it, and the other is imitating that he is wealthy by committing wrong. One who is disconnected may be reconnected again soon, but sahajya means either that he had a real connection with the truth, became disconnected, then chose a wrong path, or that he is engaged in the wrong path. So which is the better position? Not to get the real thing or to get the wrong thing? Which is superior? In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that in Tamagun, the lowest position, one thinks A to be B, and in Rajagun there is doubt whether this is real or that is real. He cannot ascertain what is true, but to think that A is B and B is A, that is the worst kind of error. They are misguided. Sahajya means misguided. They are accepting matter as consciousness, so their position is more detrimental than that of those who have nothing or who have lost their connection with the real thing. In a similar way, the conclusion of the Mayavad section, who think that merging into formless Brahma is the highest end, is more dangerous, because a half-truth is worse than a lie. Se dujera madhye vishayi tabu bhala, mayavadi sangha nahi magi kona kala. This is from Bhaktivinoda Thakur Sharanagati. Association with those who are out-and-out sense enjoyers can never be so detrimental to one's spiritual welfare as is the company of an impersonalist. If one man admits, I have no money, and another who really has no money shows some counterfeit currency and claims, this is money, then his condition is worse because he is engaged in falsehood. Just reminds me that once one man who's a father of some of our devotees, he came to visit us in London, and he gave us a gift of 3 £10,000 notes, and he was very proud, showing everyone 3 notes, £10,000 each note. And anyway, so I'm sure he didn't believe they were real, but anyway, he gave them to us, and when we checked, we rang the Bank of England and asked them, is there a £10,000 note? And they said, no, there's never been a 10,000 note. The highest note that's ever been issued by the Bank of England is £1,000, and that's only internally. They use that in the bank. It's not been issued into the public domain. So there is no 10. And they said, these are collector's items which are made generally in China, and people collect them. So they have some value to collectors, but certainly not £10,000 of value. So anyway, this just reminded me of that. Someone who's pretending that they have money, but actually just dealing with counterfeit money. And he was trying to convince us that he was a very good donor to our mission. Anyhow, once in my childhood, I heard this example from my teacher in school. He said that in America, there is a school of music, and if anyone had some knowledge of music, to attend that school, he had to pay double the normal fee. But those who had no musical knowledge only had to pay the standard fee. That is because they do not know anything, so they can be taught easily. But the others who had some knowledge of music had to pay double, because everything which they had previously learned would first have to be forgotten, and only then would they be allowed to start learning in the proper way. They had to be taught first to forget their previous prejudices, their misconceptions of musical science. So for them, there was a double charge. It's something like that. In one case, no bhakti, no devotion, and in the other, in the name of devotion, some non-devotional thing has captured the man. That is imitation, and worse, it is offensive. Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said it is vanchanam, to ridicule the devotees. Mahaprabhu, Rupa, Sanatan, it is to ridicule them because it confuses what is prema and what is karma. They are at opposite ends, and to accept karma in the name of prema is not only heinous and injurious to oneself, but it contaminates the whole atmosphere. And just so we're clear, it's karma, not karma. Karma means lust. K-A-M-A, karma. So accepting lust, mundane lust, in the name of prema, not only heinous and injurious to oneself, but it contaminates the whole atmosphere. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Kame preme dekobhai, lakshanete bhedanai, tabu kama prema nohi haya, tumita barile kama, mitya tahe prema nama, aropile kishe shubha he no mana kamera nacho prema praya, chamara mangsamaya kama, jada shuka abhirama, jada bisha jete shada joya. This is from the Kalyana Kalpa Turu. Just give your attention to this, my brother. Lust and love, their symptoms may appear as similar. Still, lust is not love. But you have accepted lust in place of love. And if you give the certificate that this is prema, by this mistake, you only cheat yourself. By mistaking one thing for another in this way, you will never get anything auspicious. Lust is concerned with flesh and blood, but love is in the higher position of spiritual existence. So they are opposites, like the South Pole and the North Pole. One is connected with this body, and the other with the supersoul. A great gulf lies between them. There is the ocean of dedication, and the highest point of that dedication is Gopi Prema. It only exists where Krishna is, and here there is only imitation. Koti Mukta Madhye Durlabha Eka Krishna Bhakta, from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Out of many millions of liberated persons, a pure devotee of Krishna is very difficult to find. We must consider all these things. Such dedication is possible only in the highest position of spiritual existence. The conscious area, which is all spiritual, and is not in any way concerned with flesh and blood, it is not connected with the body. The most heinous thing is that one will play the part of Krishna and a lady will play the part of a gopi, and they will unite. And in that way they will enjoy. To think this, to be that, it is impossible. Any ordinary moral man will hate this. What to speak of the higher devotees? Even an ordinary moral man will hate it. The steps are shown to us. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sango, Ta Bhajana Kriya, Tato Nata Nibritisha, Tato Nishta Ruchis Tata, from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And there's also, you'll find in Chaitanya Charitamrita the same verse. In the beginning is faith, then association with devotees, engagement in service, purging of faults, attainment of steadiness in devotion, spiritual taste, firm attachment, transcendental emotion, and pure love of Krishna. These are the steps. And from another standpoint, Vaikuntera Pratividi Adi Shakala Chinmay, also from Chaitanya Charitamrita. The earth, water, fire, air, and ether of Vaikuntha are all spiritual. We must always remember this. I am the offspring of Tatastha Shakti, the marginal potency. That is where I was born, and I must go through the Swarup Shakti, which is higher than me. There, the soil is of higher stuff than that of which myself am made. The earth, the air, the water, the trees, birds, everything there is superior to me, and I am to enter there. It is not a small thing, not an easy thing. It is not within the power of the person who wants to go there to enter. Rather, it is completely dependent on the grace of his superiors, Guru Kripa, Vaishnava Kripa. We have to walk there on our head, not on our feet. All are Guru. The soil is Guru. The entire paraphernalia is Guru, superior. I am made of a lower stuff, and that plane is of higher substance. So it is impossible to enter there at my sweet will. To approach that direction as far as mukti, liberation, may be easy, but thereafter we can only be drawn by their grace. It is not a matter of right that anyone can enter that realm. And just by the way, when Guru Maharaj says that mukti, liberation, may be easy, it's not easy. Mukti or liberation also is not easy, but compared to be able to enter into the spiritual world proper, it's easy. So it is only the wholesale cent% grace of a child of that soil which can take us there. Just as in the court, there is a guarantor, someone who stands as a guarantee for the subject. So some agent of that soil must take responsibility for me, and at his risk, I can go. At his risk, I can go. Vaishnava and Guru, children of that soil, they will take the risk and bring me there. So without their grace, Vaishnava Kripa, Guru Kripa, Bhagavat Kripa, we cannot enter there. No right, all grace. That grace can take me there. From our side, we have no right. I am a child of the marginal potency. But there, the whole substance, everything, is made of a higher stuff than my own existence. I have my existence as a person, and there they are also all persons, but all there are of an existence superior to me. How then can this person stand on the head of those? Only for their service. Otherwise it is inconceivable and impossible. Even to accept this principle is most difficult. What to speak of entering there? Bahunam janmanamante gyanavam mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. This is Bhagavad Gita. After many births, one who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, Vasudeva, realizing that it is I who am both the source and the substance of all that be. Such a great soul is extremely rare. And Srimad Bhagavatam states, Muktanam api siddhanam narayanam parayana sudurlabha prashanatma kotishva api mahamune, from the 6th canto. O great sage, out of many millions of souls who are liberated and free from ignorance, and out of many millions of siddhas who have nearly attained perfection, there is hardly one pure devotee of Narayan. Only such a devotee is completely satisfied and peaceful. It is easy to think of, but hard to attain. No right can be established there. It is not as a matter of right that we can go there. So the right seeker will be totally frustrated. We must be prepared for all risk and no gain. But if somehow we can reach there. It will be all gain and no risk. So to become a Vaishnava proper is almost impossible. It is only as a matter of grace from that level that we can go there. There is nothing we can do from our side. Only with complete surrender, complete self-forgetfulness, complete dedication to the interest of that place can we hope to be taken there. Vaikuntera Pritividi Adi Sakala Chinmoy Maika Bhutera Tati Janma Nahi Hoy. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. The earth, water, fire, air, and ether of Vaikuntha are all spiritual. Material elements are not found there. Uddhava is a devotee of such quality that he prays, if I can be a creeper there, I shall consider my fortune to have reached its highest extent. In Vrindavan, the creeper is such a valuable thing that Uddhava, about whom the Lord says, you are my most favorite devotee, I love you even more than my own self. He is aspiring to take such a birth that will give him that position there. This is not mere hyperbole. When Uddhava is aspiring to be a shrub, to be some grass there, then how are we to prepare ourselves that we shall walk over that place? I shall have to walk over the head of Uddhava. So how much higher a conception must that place be? And the Sahajiyas, ridiculous. By imitation here, in the plane of flesh and blood, they think they will achieve that. They are the worst enemies, because by imitating in this way, not only are they themselves going to hell, but they are attracting so many others there also. They are not conscious of the facts of what is what. So they have got their hated position in society. The general society has got hate for them, those Babajis. But we have to put faith in our Guru Maharaj, who said, it is my misfortune I could not find a single Vaishnava in this Brajamandal. Pressing his hand to his forehead, he said, it is my misfortune that I could not find a single Vaishnava in this great holy place of Brajamandal. That was his conclusion. And after he had performed Brajamandal Parikrama, he said about one Babaji who was generally recognized as the best of the Sahajiya Vaishnavas, as their leader, he is a Kanishta Adhikari. He may be considered as a beginner. To have admission into the infant class, that man was considered unanimously as a Siddha Babaji to have attained the highest position among them. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, he has got admission into the primary class. In writing in the Gaudiya newspaper, he stated this, and we are trained accordingly and consciously, not with blind faith. He explained to us what is what. We try to follow his direction, and we have also come to such conclusions. Step by step, we must approach the highest point. It is not mental concoction. Imitation. Imitation is the worst. It is hateful, filthy. If in the name of the higher love, we represent this fleshy connection with the body and the mind, then that is the most hateful thing. We must try to avoid it with our utmost will and energy. Srila Kaviraj Goswami describes Vaikuntera Pritividi Adi Shakala Chinmoy, that the elements of the Vaikuntha world are all spiritual, and the scientific survey of that land is possible to our soul's eye. We must understand that, how it is true, and for that we must first understand what is the Tatastha region, what is Biraja, and what is Brahmaloka. But we are in such a material position that we cannot even understand this lower process. Indriyani prana ahur indriyebhya param manaha. Manashas tu para buddhir, buddhir ya paratas tu shaha. From Bhagavad Gita. What is our soul? We can't follow, we can't understand what our own soul is. There is the world, we conceive it, we perceive it through our senses. So they are higher. The mind receives experience of the world through the senses. Above the mind is the faculty of judgment within us. And above that is the soul proper. And then we approach the supersoul area through the Viraja Brahmaloka. Eventually we reach Vaikuntha. There are so many layers to cross. But who is to cross? Our own soul. We cannot even find him. We are far away from that conception, in a hopeless position. And we say that the highest conception of the Paramatma's world is in our fist? This is foolish. First, we must feel our own soul. What is our real existence and identity in the spiritual position? Then that soul will have to go higher and higher by crossing more and more valuable planes. He must go up. But first, he must feel his own identity. So the sahajiyas, the imitationists, should be considered as the enemy. Like Quisling, they are Jana Shatru, the enemy who has sprang up at home, the enemy within. This kind of imitation is the worst. Ordinary imitation may be bad, but imitation of the highest reality is completely repugnant and must be rejected, because what is supreme is being exploited in such a low, mean way. That is sahajiya. We cannot see our own soul. That is our position. Absorbed in this gross matter of exploitation, we cannot even know what is our mind, of what substance it is made. Then how can one understand what is the intelligence, buddhi, the faculty of judgment with us or beyond that, the soul, or ultimately the realm of the supersoul? But we are living in this mundane world and imagining I have got the Lord of my dreams. So there we are. Wow. You could just lie down in a dark room now, I think.
You're going to lie down in a dark room.
Yeah, I think so, Maharaj. Yeah.
This the purport to the reading.
Yeah. Everything is hopeless. Then just lie down in a dark room and wait for a favorable wave to come.
Hare Krishna. We have a spoken book today. Heart and Halo is a small book, but very to the point.
Yeah.
Golden Staircase also, small book to the point. Home Comfort, small book to the point. In Search of the Original Source, small book. Hare Krishna. Well, no need to be hopeless. We read this also from Gurudev's words.
Yeah.
Just recently, and he was saying something, where we are also hearing today about how fine, how exalted, how rare is this aspiration that we have. We can be hopeless. But then Gurudev said, but don't be hopeless, because, and some of you know it because you were in the reading the other day, that is, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord himself, has come, and with the holy name, with the Maha Mantra, he has come with the Maha Mantra from the Maha destination, and he's come to distribute that to everyone. So this way, not to be hopeless.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Well, I have a quote, but it'll take a few moments only to read. It's from Srila Gurudev, And it's covered also in this chapter that you read from Heart and Halo. But the quote is that Srila Gurudev saying, Srila Guru Maharaj, he illustrated clearly that our origin is the marginal potency of the Lord, the Tatashta Shakti. So this we heard just now. If we become liberated from worldly bondage, then as a matter of right, we can enter the marginal plane. But only by grace can we enter the higher planes of Vaikuntha, Vrindavan, etc. Short and sweet, the very essence of putting us in our place, if you like. That we are Tatashta Shakti, so we can go to the Tatashta zone. But to go beyond that is entirely relying upon grace. But then even in the perfect world, the world which is not Tatashta Shakti, but the manifestations of the Lord's eternal associates in the upper plane, then I just very briefly quote this because it's like making even more rare our understanding of being able to enter into the plane of Goloka Vrindavan. And that is where Srila Guru Maharaj in Sermons Volume 2, he mentions, the fools rush where angels fear to tread. Vaikuntha Prithivyadi Sakala Chinmoy. We must understand the conception properly. Okay, so you've pretty much given this. I wanted to give the quote about Lakshmi Devi. I thought it was just here. This is Srila Guru Maharaj in another place. Well, it's in Sermons Volume 2. But explaining what Devashis Prabhu had read there, but in another way and in another place. Oh yes, well, I mean, it's a different angle, a different view, but and a little bit short. But I wanted to find the part about Lakshmi Devi. How is it that I've lost Lakshmi Devi? Oh yes, all rights reserved. I found Lakshmi Devi, thank you, by calling her name. This is from the Golden Volcano, but I'm only a tiny part, but just to emphasize how rare it is to come from the Vaikuntha plane to the Goloka plane. So everywhere where there's a upward movement, we are relying entirely on the grace of that upper layer, even from Vaikuntha to Goloka. So Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, all rights reserved. Even the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, cannot enter there. We're talking about Goloka Vrindavan, into Radha Krishna, into Krishna's pastimes in Goloka. So even the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, cannot enter there. What to speak of others? It is inconceivable. Krishna is not under any law or within anyone's fist. All rights reserved. Everything is his sweet will. But he is absolute good. That is our solace. We cannot, okay, not part there. We cannot enter his domain as a matter of right. Even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lakshmi Devi cannot enter there. But still, if we take the path chalked out by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can enter and achieve a position there. It is so dear, so rare, so valuable and desirable. We must look for the magnanimity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is aspired for by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So we mentioned how Srila Gurudev is saying, don't be hopeless, Mahaprabhu has come. Here also Srila Guru Maharaj giving us in another way this theme, don't be hopeless, that Mahaprabhu has come. And when we read Brahma Samhita, then we also see that those who have woken up the love of God, love of Govinda, every one of those prayer verses he gives is about Govinda, Govindam Adi Purusham, Tam Ahang Bhajami. And Govinda is only referring to Krishna in Vrindavan. Govinda in Vrindavan. We don't hear of Govinda in Dwarka. We don't hear Krishna addressed as Rasabhas, to address Krishna in Dwarka as Govinda. But in Vrindavan, then he is Govinda. So that awakening of love of God by the grace of those who have that love in their heart to share with us, to grant to us, then with that awakening, then the world of Goloka Vrindavan becomes revealed to us by the grace of that upper world. And everywhere, the Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas. Mahaprabhu's devotees, the devotees of his devotees, the devotees of the devotees of the devotees of his devotees. This connection of the current from up to us down, then this is our great hope. Hare Krishna. And anyway, there are lots. There are so many places when we look and see. There are so many places where Srila Guru Maharaj is telling us, and Srila Gurudev is telling us, only by mercy. And what is Srila Gurudev telling us? The mercy of Guru Maharaj. He makes things very focused for us in this world too. So we do wish to get the mercy of Guru Maharaj. We need to get his mercy by satisfying him. But how is Guru Maharaj satisfied? By satisfying his devotees. And in particular, his devotee, his special devotee, Srila Gurudev. And if we are fortunate, or if we are not blind or something, we must surely see, know, understand Guru Maharaj's extreme affection, grace, and giving everything to Srila Gurudev. And we are witnesses. What can we say? I mean, we are witnesses to that interaction. And we know that if we please Gurudev, then Srila Guru Maharaj will be happy. And we must say that Gurudev's family is very great. And when we please the disciples, the family, the devotees who are trying to please, then we are connected in this way. And Guru Maharaj gives this idea, no? Guru Maharaj or Gurudev? Anyway, they speak with one voice. The idea of the telescope, the telescopic system. I think originally it was Srila Guru Maharaj who gave that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and that the telescope, apparently there's something between our eye and the moon or the planet, a distant planet, Mars, okay? So there's apparently, if we make a telescope, we're putting something between our eye and Mars. But actually, those things we're putting there, they are lenses. And with each lens, then that distant planet becomes closer to our vision. So our service life is sometimes given this analogy. This analogy is given that we are to see through this telescope. We are to serve through this telescope. And in another place, Srila Guru Maharaj says about it's not our right to go. And I think I might have it right in front of me. Yes. So, and the highest quarter, Vrindavan Goloka, it is not a light matter. It is the fact, after explaining many things. And then Srila Guru Maharaj says, so we must serve. In this world, there is exploitation and renunciation, but beyond them is dedication. Dedication is the proper and normal world. Anyhow, so this serving aspect, so much stressed by Guru Maharaj, so much stressed by Gurudev. And Srila Gurudev, we also we hear from him. He used to give the example quite often previously, a little less often later, or maybe we just didn't hear it so much later. But Srila Gurudev is saying about we must make ourselves into a good receiver. And he used the example of the radio or the television. They are made of so many components, but we have to get these components, put them in the right way, and then we have to tune it. We can't even just use it straight out of the, by putting the transistors and everything in the right place, but then we have to tune in the radio. We have to make ourselves a good receiver and a fine receiver. So this way to receive, and to receive what? To receive the grace of the upper world, and that is coming through the devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then we have this emphasis on Sharanagati, surrender. And then we get a whole book, don't we? We get a whole book called Srimad Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses. We get the whole book of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the nectar book of Gauranga, that we are not hopeless because of Gauranga's appearance. And with Gauranga's appearance, then we have a whole book of 10,000 plus, I think it's even 11,000 plus verses, possibly, of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this theme that we are coming to tread the path to return home, to tread the path to make ourselves into a good receiver, and show ourselves that yes, we want to be a giver of ourselves. Sharanagati. And this means that our life needs to change from how we were born, and that when we may leave the world, we may not have that same me, myself, I tendency, and instead only the selfless tendency, and selfless for the Vaishnavas and the Lord, to discriminate there. Hare Krishna. Yes, our London devotees, Saraswati Devi Dasi, I saw you just now. Yes, I see you there with the decorations up. It's a festival. Every day is a festival in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math for those who participate. Saraswati Devi, share something. Something is going through your mind when you're hearing us. Willing, feeling, thinking, the three symptoms of life.
Dandavat, Maharaj. Dandavat to all the devotees. Dandavat. Well, I was just also looking through the different quotes. And Guru Maharaj, this is from Guru Maharaj books, Divine Aspiration. He's saying that we must be prepared for anything that the environment is throwing at us, and we depend on the Lord's grace. And we have to face it with optimism. And that is the key to success. And there is a famous sloka from the Sriman Bhagavatam that everyone knows. Tatenu kampam susamiksamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hrid bhag vapubir vidanam namaste jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bhak. One who, in the hope of achieving your grace, tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to the karma of his past deeds, and passes his days practicing devotion to you with his mind, words, and body, is truly eligible for becoming your unalloyed devotee. This is a short quote, but it's a very nice. The rest of that is, I can read a little more if I have time. It says here, So the Lord, he is autocrat. So what is coming from him is his grace. We are living by his grace always. And it is not a matter of right. That we are living and existing at all is not our bright right. Whether we exist does not matter to the infinite whole. So tate nukampan samik samano, whatever comes is his grace, it is not earned by my right, my ability, or my qualification. Our well-guided estimation about the environment should be such. And we must be satisfied with whatever grant we get. It is not a matter of right. We are not to see with the eye of any right, whether we are getting our own quota or not. Am I getting my own portion, my own share? This should never be our attitude. At the same time, we must try to see that whatever trouble we find is self-acquired due to my own defective position. I am in such a condition. I'm so low, so mean. Our vanity will have to disappear forever when we realize fully our dependence on his grace. I have got no position. I am fully dependent on his grace. My whole existence, whole prospect, everything. It is only on account of his grace. This is Guru Maharaj's words. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai Srila Guru Maharaj. Beautiful. Hare Krishna. So let us pray for the grace of the residents of that land. And we heard also on Radhastami, we heard that time, there are two requirements when we come to hear about Radha Krishna's pastimes, which we easily say, Radha Krishna, the gopis, and so many things. But those two requirements are that we need to have faith in those pastimes and that we need to hear them from a resident of that world. We need to hear it from the pure, the pastimes of the Lord, from those pure souls who are resident there, who can give it to us fully, purely. So here we are, we have that. We are hearing these topics from Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. And that is the goal of our life. This is the goal, the acme of the purpose of our life that's been given to us by Mahaprabhu, our hopeful guide and guardian, giver of grace, distributor of grace. And we don't want to lose this opportunity. It may be very rare. It is very rare. It's very fine, but we have this opportunity. We've got that winning ticket, but we have to now use that wealth properly. Somebody was not recently, somebody told me that they did a survey on people who win the lottery, you know, this people who suddenly, regular people, they suddenly win 5 million euros or 5 million pounds, something. And then like 98% of them, they squandered the money, or they became alcoholics or drug addicts, or, you know, they somehow or another, they went the wrong way with that wealth. Well, we must be very careful, because we've got this wealth of the connection, the wealth of the connection of the highest section. And we must be careful not to waste that, not to squander it, and most of all, not to ruin ourselves by it, by aparad, by Vaishnava aparad, by making offenses to the devotees in particular. So when we come into the association of devotees, we must also, and as we are together, we must be also very careful in the broad Vaishnava society, as well as the closer family society. We must be very careful always to avoid offenses in particular, because this wealth, it is with us, but when we come into that association, we must be careful. And Mahaprabhu's grace extends to everyone except those who have committed Vaishnava aparad, and Mahaprabhu makes this point on several occasions. Hare Krishna. Yes, Devashish Prabhu.
Yes, Maharaj. So our time has caught up with us again. Already 7:30 or 8:30 where you are. And also in
many times for different devotees.
yeah, very different times. So, but our hour has gone. So unless anyone has a pressing question that they want to ask before we wind things up.
Give us one tip on how to draw that grace from above without it being us asserting ourselves.
Oh, Maharaj, if I only knew. Actually, we just have to try and get the favor of the Vaishnavas. And that means to, if we show that we are willing to sacrifice something of ourselves, to move a little bit out of our own comfort zone, or to, try to give something of ourselves for the service of Hari Guru and Vaishnava, then the Vaishnavas must be merciful to us, I think. And Vaishnavas by nature are merciful. And all of us who are connected, and we all are connected with Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, we all know that he is the most merciful master. So although he may speak about the rareness of devotion and many things we hear from him, from Guru Maharaj and so on, but he was very accommodating to everyone. He would say often, I don't want anyone to leave Guru Maharaj's lotus feet or the mission of Srila Guru Maharaj. So sometimes just that you came would be enough for him to give his mercy. So I remember sometimes when he would come to London in the airport and some new devotees would be there, and immediately he would embrace them. Immediately. And while embracing them, he's looking at me saying, like, who is this? He's never even met them before, but he's giving his embrace to them. And sometimes he would say, oh, I must stop doing that. I'm embracing everyone because I believe everyone. And sometimes not everyone is dealing properly with me, but I believe them. They're saying that they want Krishna consciousness. I believe them. I believe everyone. This is my fault. But from his side, perhaps, but from our side, it is so much mercy to us that he believes us. And so, we only need a little sincerity, and he will fan that into a big fire of Krishna Bhakti, I think. So, yes, mercy. No right, all mercy.
And I have one question, Prabhu. It's to Priya Nana. Is our sound now with a buzz or not with a buzz? Because we changed some wires. No buzz. Okay, thank you very much. It's good to know, because then we can try to get it right next time.
All right. So, until next...
Maharaj, maybe you already have said that, but I think the Lord will bestow his mercy upon us if we serve his devotees. Maybe you already mentioned that, but I think he's more pleased when we serve his devotees, isn't he?
Yes, and it's good to repeat it again and again. It is good to repeat it, to emphasize it. Italics, bold, bigger letters.
Right. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Nitya Leela Pravistam Vishnupad Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bhargya ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai, all the world devotees ki jai, Samadvaita Vaishnava Mandali ki jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo, Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripatindu Bhyevacha, Patitanam Pavane Bhyo, Vaishnave Bhyo, Namo Namaha.
And Devashish, who has his finger on the button, I better be careful. I better say quickly, Jai Sripad Devashish Prabhu ki Jai. And Jai Sri Saraswati Devi Rasi ki Jai. They are running the centers, looking after so many things, and between them making the successful mission in London for the satisfaction of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj and Srila Saraswati Thakur and all. And to our translators and to all of the devotees present. Ki Jai.
Jai.
Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo.
Jai